Welcome to SDH's coverage of the NPSL Southeast. And over the next little bit, we're going to sprint through the conference and let you know what's going on in the Southeast Conference. It's been hot and heavy. You've got a lot of offense going on so far, but let's get you through the last 7 days and get you ready for the next 7 days and get you into the month of May. What went down over the week of May 20 is our match of the week, wasting no time on our end. Charlottetown Hops hosting Greenville United. Here's the highlights of this one from CSA Ortho Carolina Sportsplex. Once again, big thanks to Charlottetown Hops, their own selves, and the NPSL.
Yeah, I agree, Robert. Last week, I think Charlottetown Hops fairly would feel that the result was not what they earned, but back at it again today. And this is not a cup match, right, Robert? This is a oh boy.
Jamie DeLucio takes it away, looking for a pass, and he got it, and it's a goal! Drew Hansen gives Charlottetown the early lead, but we got to give both the assist in real time, but also the assist in terms of like absolute defensive acumen there. Jamie DeLucio making his presence known. Drew Hansen slaps it in to give the Hops the lead.
Absolutely. So maybe the poise that we talked about with Greenville on the ball turning into some complacency there, and Jamie DeLucio was all over it, Robert. Greenville looking to get a little bit of that control that they had back. Still a lot more time, Robert, so they did control the game for the first 10 minutes, and now trailing.
Pressure here from Tucker Kern, and no foul from the referee, so it's DeLucio again. Kern not quite able to get there before Peme could get there. And then another great pass from DeLucio! And Drew Hansen slides it in again. 19th minute, my friends. It is Charlottetown Hops 2, Greenville United 0. Drew Hansen with the same pairing from last time. But first we got to talk about that defensive play from Maimon Madir to save a goal on the other end.
And unbelievable on a turntable somehow with an open net, Robert, to come away with the tackle there and get away with the ball cleanly. And then, as you said, to initiate the counterattack, it was like an inverse version of the famous LeBron block against the Andre Iguodala. The defensive play first and then the offensive shift. Sorry, Robert, we subbed in an attacker or we subbed out?
They subbed out an attacker.
Yeah, I would think you need some. Here we go.
Madir steps over it. Gabby Lopes immediately pressuring it, and it's a goal.
Don't know who's going to get the credit.
Who's going to get that either?
It looked like Gabby's shot off the crossbar went in, but if not, Tyler knocked it home.
Gabby back in. Oh my goodness! Drew Hansen with the hat trick in the 39th or in the 40th minute. Gabby Lopes with an absolute peach of a ball, and I'm running out of room to write things down.
A great ball in. Gabby with a great ball in, and a perfect touch from Drew Hansen to get his third. What a great night for a young player to get a hat trick and put his team ahead 4-0 here.
Big win for Hops as they continue their early season marker when it comes to the GF category, the goals for and goal difference, so keeping an eye on that. Other matchups in the week, and it is Bristol Rhythm hosting Apotheos, losing 4-1 at Gene Malcolm. It was a Hickory FC and Port City at Moretz. That one ended up as a 2-2 draw. Also, 865 Alliance hosting App FC at Hardin Valley. Appalachian FC ended up 3-0 winners in that one. So that gets us squared away for this weekend, where you've got 8 teams rocking and rolling, and they're all 7 o'clock Eastern time starts, and this is where we start catching up with folks. At UNC Wilmington, Port City is hosting 865 Alliance. It is Apotheos hosting at Silverbacks Park, Charlottetown Hops, and that means it is time to catch up with our friends at Apotheos to get the lay of the land so far this season, and we get to do that through the eyes of Anthony Catalano and Apotheos. So last week you go on the road, you put 4 on the board at Bristol. What was it like to see that kind of offensive output?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was exceptional for the guys that kind of come off, a really great game up in Appalachian FC. Felt a little bit defeated and deflated after being up 2-0 there, and then go in on the road again into Bristol and put up 4. So it was fantastic for the guys' morale, for their confidence, and I think it was a big response to the way we played in Boone and Appalachian FC, to follow that up with a really good performance in Bristol. So super proud of the guys.
And now you've got a home match coming up against Hops this weekend. What's the buzz been around the camp as you're getting ready for another home match here to start the month of June?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're in the thick of it now, John. So, I mean, every match counts, right? Every point counts. You're bouncing from being on the road, coming right back to training, and then you're back at home. So we know the importance of this. Charlottetown Hops is a great club with a lot of great talent throughout that North Carolina region that are coming to play for them. So we've got to be ready to play. And I think it's going to be an exciting match, and we hope to be on the right side of it.
How tough is the Southeast for somebody who hasn't seen it yet?
It's tough. And what's really interesting and been really neat to watch is the market expansion within the NPSL within the Southeast. So we've really grown. We've kind of shifted in terms of the region and how it's, being laid out. But I mean, we're stretching all the way out to Wilmington, North Carolina, all the way up now to Bristol, Virginia, to Knoxville. So it's really cool to see that the Southeast has grown so much in terms of the NPSL and soccer in general. So these markets are becoming more and more competitive to get talent, and they're getting more and more competitive with the atmosphere and the experience. So it's really neat to watch the growth of soccer in the NPSL here in the Southeast.
Next up on the board, 7 o'clock at Ted Mackerel. It's Appalachian FC hosting Bristol Rhythm. For this one, we get to catch up with Diane Smith, the owner and general manager of Bristol Rhythm, and the head coach of App FC, Dale Parker. All right, so you've had a couple days. It was another home match for you. I know that it did not end the way that you and the fans would have liked, but what adventures are you going to take away from that particular match that happened last weekend?
So last weekend still was a positive result for our supporters. We had almost 900 people in attendance on a holiday weekend with high school graduations. And as we talked about last week, the terrible weather in the forecast, which fortunately skipped us come kickoff. I feel like, one day you're going to ask me about the weather and I'm going to be able to say good things. We've been fortunate to not have rain during matches, but our forecasts have been terrible each time. We did not perform as well as we would have liked in the first half. It got bad for us with going into halftime down 4-0. I was a little fearful that our supporters were going to bail, because that's not a result that you want to continue to see in the second half. Our supporters are amazing, and they did not leave and stayed and cheered on the players as we did get a point in the second half. Our center back scored, which is not the typical scorer off a header. So it was a great goal. The fans were really excited to cheer for us, and we did keep the other team scoreless in the second half. So we did make some changes to the lineup between the halves. So I think that definitely helped the momentum and just changed the play of the game. And we're ready to take our show on the road to our first away match this weekend. So I will say that my staff is looking forward to the break of not hosting a home this weekend. But there's also, new things for us to learn on what we need to do for an away match as well.
I was going to ask, with this being an away match, it's learning to make sure that you don't leave anything behind, that you've got supplies, that everybody is, the folks that are going to be on the field, that they are as prepared as they can. The folks off the field, you carry as much. What has gone into this packing excursion here for the first time ever for Rhythm?
So, the away team has to be ready to change kits if there's a color conflict. So it's packing up all of our kits, home and away for all of our players, and making sure we've got the bus and the pregame meal. And, there's a big Premier League, I think it's the Champions Cup game at 3:00. So we will be in Boone in enough time that the team's watching the match. And then assuming there's no overtime for that match, it'll be over before we need to go ahead for warm-ups. But it'll be a fun bonding experience for the players, We've already faced off against App once this season. It was our first ever match. We did not have all of our players in town yet. Some of our players literally got off a plane the day before. So we definitely have a different team dynamic now than we did last time we played them. So I think this will be a good opportunity to show the team we are today, which is definitely a different team than we were a few weeks ago, and getting to hang out and just bond with the team over enjoying a meal and another game will be a good experience for the players, because that dynamic that they need on the field does come from interacting with each other off the field as well.
Yeah, you mentioned the bonding. What's the bonding been like from your observations for the team itself, those that are playing, but then those that are in the front office that are in this that are in this adventure together? What's it been like to see the bonding both on and off the field?
That's probably been my favorite part. We do have a local tap room we head to after each match. The amount of time we stay and hang out does a little depend on results on the field. Sometimes everybody's ready to go their separate ways after a game that doesn't have as favorable of an outcome as the one that we did win. We definitely stayed out a lot later than I'm used to staying out. I was up way past my bedtime. But just such a great experience to get to know these players off the field and show them how much we do support them and are just so proud of their efforts and thankful for all of the time and energy that they put into making our team a great experience for them and for our supporters.
All right, so this one's on the board. Look back at last week for me and what sticks in your brain.
Yeah, happy with the result. It's never easy going on the road in this conference and picking up 3 points. So really happy with the result and the way we played. Aided a little bit by a red card that they received late in the first half. But I was pleased the way we started the game, got on top early, made them defend. You know, we got away with one or two, bad transition moments that we fixed in the second half. But yeah, really pleased with another clean sheet, another 3 points. Yeah, so now we can move on to the next one.
And the next one is someone that isn't new. You've played them once before, and I know that I think they've been adding personnel and such and getting their roster to full song. But what do you remember about the first matchup against Bristol that you'll carry with you to this one?
Yeah, it's a tricky opponent. I think, most teams that enter the league in year one, they all go through. We did it, in 2021. You go through these strange periods, strange games where you're still trying to learn not just about your team and about how you're going to play, but how the league works, right? And how to operate a game day and all the factors that play into it. So, I expect them to be a tricky opponent. They were in the first game where we played. I think we wore them down after a bit and our quality showed through, but then they bounced back with a good 3 points the following week. But they had a tough game against a good opponent last week, but they're going to want to right that. They're going to come up here and, they're going to very likely enjoy the environment they're playing in. It's going to be fun. There's going to be a nice big crowd, and I think that will elevate everyone's game. So we're expecting a tough game against an opponent that wants to bounce back not only from last week, but from game one where we had some success. So we'll be ready, but we're also going to be weary that a team is going to want to bounce back.
Are you still learning about yourself this season, or are all the lessons put away and you know who you are?
I think we're always learning about ourselves. I think, for me personally, with it being year four, learned a lot of lessons in year one, which we're able to then find some success in year two, end up winning the conference and having a little run in the national tournament. And then year three, I wouldn't say we took it for granted, but I don't think we necessarily pushed forward in terms of what the team needed to go a step further. We were trying to maintain what we had, but other teams got better, and you have to expect that every year. And that's been our policy, our recruitment policy this year, was expect everybody to be even better than they were last year, which means we've got to be twice as good. So we spent a lot of time with our recruitment this year, and I think this is probably the best team we've put together in the 4 years we've been doing this. So we know the quality that we have, but we've still got some guys in the group that haven't had substantial minutes. So there's still some players we need to learn about. Still some kinks in our game that we need to fix. But all the signs are there that we've got a really good team. But having a good team on paper doesn't really win you much. You've got to put it into action on the pitch. So we're still learning about our group. We feel really good about it, but there's always a lot to learn.
Last matchup at 7 o'clock, another home match for Hickory FC as Greenville United comes to town at Moretz. And for this one, we get the Hickory FC perspective and find out what's going on in the mind of head coach Carlos Rubio.
2-2 draw last time out hosting Port City. Now that you've had a couple days to think about it, what sticks in your mind?
Yeah, it wasn't the result. We approached that game with the mentality of achieving. We created a lot of chances. We improved on the creation of that final pass, that final moment, but we missed the goal. We didn't get that moment of clinical mindset to put the ball on the back of the net. And then all credit goes to Port City. They did what they had to do. They played a really solid game. They didn't stop believing. They didn't stop working. And then they found a way to score at the end. So credit goes to them. And then super proud of the reaction of the boys in the last 5 minutes. We conceded the 89th, and that was really disappointed. But that game could have gone one way or the other. And the boys saw a lot of heart to bring that result back. And then we finished with a draw. Not what we wanted, but what we got. So we need to work with it.
And so now you've got a matchup coming up against Greenville United. What do you know about them, and what has study hall been like getting ready for this one?
Yeah, we know them. We played them not long ago at their place. Really good and fought game. They were a really good team. The table doesn't show how good they are. I think they've got a few results that with a few margins could have gone their way. So they're going to be a really good team again. Watched them quite a few over the last few weeks against Charlotte. They played a scrimmage last night. So, yeah, we've been preparing for them, but the focus gone to what we do. Our focus is directly what Hickory can do in order to win the football match.
If I had told you that you would have won 3 of your first 4 and drawn the 4th one, that you wouldn't have a loss to this point of the season, what would you have told me?
That we should have won 4. I would approach this. Yeah, we're happy. I'm not going to lie to you. We're happy with how things are going. We're happy how the table is standing. But we probably should have got that last game, and we underachieved on that game. On the other games, yes, we can't go one way or the other, but yeah, we will have been happier with 12 out of 12.
So that's your layout for everything going on in the Southeast with the schedule. When it comes to the standings right now in the Southeast, 4 matches played for Hickory, and they are at 3-1 on the season. App FC is 3 matches played. They are at 2-1 with a +6 goal difference, and they have points per game average of 2.33, 10 points for Hickory FC. App FC has 7 points. Charlottetown Hops has 2 points on average. They've got 6 points through their matches this season, and they have played 3 matches. Apotheos right now is in 4th. After 4 matches, 7 points, an average of 1.75. Bristol Rhythm, they have played 3 matches so far this year. They're at 1-0-2. They've got a 1 point per match average. Port City has played 3 matches. They are 0-1-2. They are at .33. And 865 Alliance and Greenville United have played 2 matches each with 2 losses. Therefore, they have the 0 point average so far this season. So that's life in the Southeast Conference. Thanks to all of the teams and all the front office folks that are helping us tell the story of the Southeast Conference all season long. Thanks to our friends at Hickory, App, Charlottetown Hops, Apotheos, Bristol Rhythm, Port City, 865 Alliance, and Greenville United. If you are near the home matches and can make it, please go and support soccer on the local levels. If you are in market and can't make it, follow along on local providers. If you're out of market, can't make it, follow along on local providers. Follow the teams on social media and catch up with us every single week here at SDH. We'll let you know what's going on in the NPSL Southeast. For everybody here at SDH, I'm just John. Thanks for hanging out with us. Enjoy the matchups in the NPSL Southeast. Mucho platio.